sitting there trying to calm myself down.
And you couldn't calm yourself down.
Oh, no. No.
You're in my arms, I feel complete. 'Cause there's no other place I'd rather be. When you're gone, I feel like there is no one. Is that wrong? That you're the only one I want.
Hey everyone. So my husband had a weekend conference out of town, so we turned it into a romantic getaway. So he actually had a panic attack while we were at the hospital when they were dealing with his high blood pressure.
Well, I was medically induced, so I don't know if
But
the jackass out there friggin' ER decided to give me something and threw me into full-on. But apparently,
well, I've had medicine do it, and I've had not medicine do it, and it feels the same. So, do you want to tell me what was going through your mind when you started feeling that?
Well, I mean, I don't know, just panic attack just sounds, I don't know.
I don't know what the difference between panic or anxiety is. I don't know the difference.
I don't think there's much difference.
So I've had an anxiety attack where I felt like I had to pace the halls because if I sat still, I felt like I was gonna lose my mind. And I've had anxiety where I just felt anxious to do something. So I really feel like
this was number one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just remember when I got taken to the room or bay or whatever you want to call it in the ER. I just remember when I got taken to the ER, the back to the bay or the room or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
First thing that the guy did, actually I think the first thing he did was he drew blood, and then after that he said he was going to give me something for my headache. A headache I've had for over 48 hours.
Which was from your high blood pressure.
Well, not necessarily. It was a combination of things. But I feel like the guy wasn't listening to anything I was saying. He just straight up said, well, we're going to give you something for your headache, and then we'll deal with the high blood pressure. And I remember he, pushed something into the IV.
Medicine into the IV.
Right, medicine, obviously.
Right.
And I'll admit it, the first reaction was, whoa. And he was like, okay. And then definitely made the headache go away. And then they came back and they gave me something for the for the high blood pressure. Oh, no. The headache medicine, they chased it with Benadryl. And I think the Benadryl right into my vein is what made me get all woo. Mm-hmm. But that wore off rather quickly. And then they gave me the first medicine for the high blood pressure. And they came back and they checked again, and my high blood pressure didn't go down, actually went up. At that point it was only a little bit that went up. And at that point I remember the first feeling was that stupid recliner thing that they had. It wasn't even a bed. And I couldn't get comfortable.
Yeah, the ER, they had the recliner chairs,
yes.
But it wasn't totally reclined. It was slightly reclined. So we asked for him to get a bed, and the only bed in the ER was taken.
The only bed that was available.
Only one in the ER was taken.
No, it was the only one available.
No, it was taken. It wasn't available.
Yes, because he said, well, we have one, and then he goes, oh, I'm sorry, just got taken.
Okay.
Anyway, details. But I just remember I couldn't get comfortable in that chair, and that kind of is what spun off the entire situation to where I had you sitting over here talking about how they need to admit me, and
because his blood pressure was just going up, it wasn't going down.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's because of the stupid medication they gave me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I couldn't get comfortable, and then I started feeling like I was going to jump out of my skin, and it just it just like all of it together, mixing it all together, it just got to the point where, I mean, you saw me. I looked at you. I told you I gotta get the F out of here.
Yeah.
I have to get out of here.
Right.
And it wasn't getting better. It was actually getting worse. And I was trying to breathe and I was trying to stay calm. And at the time, I just felt angry, angry and just
beyond agitated.
well, yeah. That's obviously you saw me. But from my point of view, I was angry and I was frustrated and I felt like I was not in control of the situation. You know how that makes me feel.
Right.
And
Because I was pushing for him to be admitted because I was scared to take him home.
The whole situation. I mean, I told you flat out. It wasn't
Right.
just that. It was just the whole situation. I told you flat out. I'm about to rip the shit off my. Excuse me. You remember I told you flat out. I'm gonna just rip this stuff off my arm and I'm just gonna walk away.
Because I feel like you weren't being heard.
It was just like I said. Sorry, like I said, it was just like. It was like my skin was crawling off of me, and I kept trying to get comfortable. I couldn't, and yeah, at that point, every little thing was just making everything worse and worse and worse and worse. And they came back and they gave me the second round of medication to see if my blood pressure would go down, and it just kept going up. I think it was going up because I was getting consistently more agitated.
And he asked the guy, it's probably going up because I'm feeling this way. And the RN said, no, it's not.
Right, and then I mentioned something about the anxiety, and the guy goes, well, yeah, the medication we gave you for your headache, one of the side effects is anxiety.
Yeah.
That's why we also gave you the Benadryl. And at that point, I just wanted to murder that guy. I mean, I wanted to end him and his entire family.
He should have let you know.
Yeah, that was not cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was just due to the anxiety, but I'm not a violent person, usually. But no, I was just, and then finally you started getting involved and you asked them to give me, since you had experience with that, you asked them to give me
Ativan.
Yeah.
Well, because...
And then they came by and they gave me the third medication for the high blood pressure.
Because I felt like...
And the Ativan. And at that point, like, the Ativan kicked in right away. And I was just like, holy moly. I mean, I don't remember much after that.
I felt like if I didn't start advocating for him, he was going to walk out of there. And then who knows what was going to happen. So I knew what would calm him. And having dealt with that medicine in the past, I knew that would be his best bet and safest for him to take. So
yeah, so got the Ativan, and immediately it was like turning a knob, turning the volume down on the radio, and guess what, my blood pressure started going down. Yeah, imagine that. So it got to the point where they felt comfortable to release me, and we went home. And like I said, I don't remember a whole lot after
I
that.
was taking the kids home because the nurses couldn't tell me how long it was going to be. I had the kids there.
Yeah.
Spencer fell asleep in my lap, and I'm like, I'm going to take him home.
Yeah,
As
you
soon
did.
as I pulled in the garage, he was calling me going, you can come back and pick me up. I was like...
I don't even remember calling you.
It was the most frustrating thing because I was telling the nurses, I was telling the doctors, please don't release him with his blood pressure like this. Don't release him, admit him. And they wouldn't. And he has insurance. It's not like, oh, well, there's a reason why. There was no reason for them to not admit him.
It was, I mean, a complete and total soup sandwich experience.
So with somebody who usually is the one that deals with somebody that has had anxiety, how does it feel being the one that knows exactly what it feels like now?
I gotta be honest. It was extremely eye-opening. I dealt with it for about 2 hours, and I was ready to jump out the window of an ER that's on the ground floor. Anyway, I was.
But you wanted
you know
your
what I
way,
mean.
yeah.
I was ready to just. I mean, the wrong person would have crossed me, it would have been ugly. So it was shocking to actually, I mean, we talked about it afterwards, and I told you how I felt, and you told me, he goes, well, that's what anxiety feels like. And just to even think about experiencing that for days in a row, I just can't even. I mean, you know, we would talk about a lot of stuff, and I've told you, you know, I've experienced a lot in, you know, military and whatnot, and I mean, lack of sleep, deployments, trainings, whatever. I would take any of those things in a heartbeat, as opposed to dealing with anxiety again. It was horrible. It was horrible. I mean, it was, you know, just the thought of being trapped inside your own head and not having your body respond to what you want it to do, you know,
To calm down.
Right, i.e., calm down or just chillaxing or whatever. It was. I can imagine, and I've told you, you know, I mean, you've always said that I've been very understanding and I've been very supportive, but having the experience, like I said, even just 2 hours in your shoes, no thank you. No,
Well, in
thank
a
you.
lot of people's shoes, you know.
Well,
But yeah,
Yeah.
understanding. There was a couple of nights where I would have really bad anxiety, and I'd get out of bed because he had to work the next day, and I'd go in the office and I would lay on the couch and I would just try
hey,
to go to sleep.
you called it my office. I appreciate
I
that.
know. And he would come in there, and after many, many days of this, obviously you're going to be like, just come to bed and knock it off, kind of. But it was never said like that. It was just,
I would tell you, can
When
you just
you're-
try to take a deep breath and relax and just lay with me and
Right.
try to just, you know, just try to chill and calm down. And it was very difficult to completely understand. And then having been on it is baffling how people deal with it for days on end and stuff like that. I couldn't imagine. I mean,
but you know, the great thing is even though you didn't quite experience it, when I was going through all of my anxiety, I would go through it for 2 days and not sleep because you can't sleep. And then I would come in the office with him and lay on his lap and just cry. And he was always there. He didn't know exactly what it felt like, but it was my safe zone. It was like, you know, can't sleep for 2 or 3 days, and I have a 6-month-old and a 3-year-old, and which obviously makes your anxiety worse because you're like, you have this anxiety, and then you're like, I can't sleep for the second day, but my 6-month-old is going to wake up in an hour, and then obviously by then your anxiety is way too high. There's just nothing you can do to calm yourself down because you feel completely out of control. Completely. There's nothing, you can't rationalize that there's nothing to be scared of. There's nothing bad going on. You just feel panicked. So when he went through that, I definitely felt like just give him some Ativan, have him calm down, because I didn't want him to go through that for a long period of time. I just felt like it was, especially because it was medication that did it.
it just, that irrational sense of, if I don't get out of here, this is not going to end well.
Mm-hmm.
While sitting there trying to calm myself down.
And you couldn't calm yourself down.
Oh, no. I literally wanted to just get up and start fighting people. It was bad.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm just really, really thankful that the Ativan kicked in really quick and you got to, your blood pressure went down, because I was telling the nurses I wasn't taking him home unless it goes down, and it wasn't. So, but I'm just
I'm happy to announce that I have refilled my prescription and I'm religiously taking it now.
and
no
watching
more-
what you eat.
Yes, no more trips to the ER, especially not that one. Yes, my blood pressure's a lot better.
Yeah. And no
No.
more anxiety
No,
for him.
no, first and last. Well, hopefully, knock on wood.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, you know, I've told you before, you know, a lot of respect for everything you went through and how you were so diligent to find a doctor to listen to you and find the answers and get yourself to a point where you're okay. You know, whether it's with medication or without medication, you know, you got yourself to a good place where at least you're finding enjoyment. And
yeah. I think I would have gone crazy after, if I wouldn't have been able to control it. I think I would eventually just gone crazy.
having had a taste of it, I can completely understand.
Because I was having those thoughts of, how do I end the misery?
I can
And-
totally understand that. I can completely understand that.
Because days without sleep, you're already feeling that, like, that craziness, and then, like, the anxiety on top of it. I mean, those thoughts came to me, like, and that's why I had to do what I had to do. But that's in the past, and I'm really glad that you're not gonna be on any of that medicine anymore.
Of course not. No, that was just the one time. I mean, don't take me wrong. What was it again?
Ativan,
Holy crap, that stuff's awesome.
when you
But-
need it, it's great.
But yeah, no, that's not my bag.
Yeah.
I am very proud of you for where you are compared to everything you went through. You know, and I think we've done a great job as working as a team to
Definitely.
have the least amount of impact on the kids with everything that we went through. So everything that you went through. So
No, we went through it together. We went through everything together.
So no, I'm very thankful, you know, and very proud of you. I am,
Thank you.
of course.
And even though you didn't know exactly what it entailed, you've always been there by my side. Thank you.
Better or worse, right?
Better or worse.
So
All
yeah.
right, guys. We'll see you on another video.